Hello, happy Wednesday. All right, so I'm going to give this just a minute because my friend Kimberlee is hopping on live with us, and I am going to let you hear her story because you see me all the time. There she is. You see me all the time, and I love what I do. I love sharing my story with you, but I love what God is doing on my team. And so, over the next few days, share some stories from my teammates. And today we start with Kimberlee. There she is.
Hi.
Hey, how are you?
Good.
Good. This is
Yeah.
fun. So I was just telling my followers that they see me all the time. And while I love what I do, I think it's really important for them to hear stories from other women who are doing what we do. And that I'm going to interview you guys over the next few days and just let my followers meet my awesome team because I love you guys so much.
Yeah, I love that.
Are you home? Are your kids home today?
I'm home and I just shared in my stories that working from home during the summer when your kids are off looks like setting them up with lunch and a movie and threatening them with treats to be quiet so that I can do this.
Isn't that good though? That's awesome. You have a
Yeah.
plan and they are not neglected at all.
No, they're not. And I'm just kidding, but sort of.
Yeah.
But it's good.
Yeah.
Like, I usually.
Hello, happy Wednesday. All right, so I'm going to give this just a minute because my friend Kimberlee is hopping on live with us, and I am going to let you hear her story because you see me all the time. There she is. You see me all the time, and I love what I do. I love sharing my story with you, but I love what God is doing on my team. And so, over the next few days, share some stories from my teammates. And today we start with Kimberlee. There she is.
Hi.
Hey, how are you?
Good.
Good. This is
Yeah.
fun. So I was just telling my followers that they see me all the time. And while I love what I do, I think it's really important for them to hear stories from other women who are doing what we do. And that I'm going to interview you guys over the next few days and just let my followers meet my awesome team because I love you guys so much.
Yeah, I love that.
Are you home? Are your kids home today?
I'm home and I just shared in my stories that working from home during the summer when your kids are off looks like setting them up with lunch and a movie and threatening them with treats to be quiet so that I can do this.
Isn't that good though? That's awesome. You have a
Yeah.
plan and they are not neglected at all.
No, they're not. And I'm just kidding, but sort of.
Yeah.
But it's good.
Yeah.
Like, I usually, I work around them most of the time and they see me doing that and the things, but I did a live video the other day and Ellis was like bonkers. And so I was like, okay, just give me just a few minutes and I will get this done and then we'll play or whatever. So
Yeah.
yeah.
The boys asked if they could be in my live video today. And I was like, depends on what you're going to say. And Henry, I don't even remember what he said. It was funny. But yeah, we'll have to do a live video with our kids one day.
Yeah.
So tell my people who don't know you, tell us about you. Like, where do you live? About your family, all that stuff.
Okay. So my name's Kimberlee Davis. I'm married to my husband, Eric. We have been married, just celebrated our 13th anniversary. We are high school sweethearts and have been together for, oh gosh, like, I don't know, 18, 19 years now, I think we started dating. We have 3 kiddos. Owen just turned 10 this weekend. So now we have one in double digits, which is super weird. Anna is 7. And then Ellis, the crazy one, is 4. He's like our little Sour Patch Kid and keeps us on our toes. We live in right outside Louisville, Kentucky. it's been like kind of a whirlwind of the year, as it has
Mhm.
for everybody else. We moved last summer, had to live temporarily with family, and just, all the craziness that happened over the last year. But it's good. I am a registered nurse and worked mother baby nursing for um, almost 8 years, up until right at 2 years ago. My husband's job allowed me to come home and raise our kids. And so I've been home with them for about 2 years, which is what I've always wanted to do. So I'm super thankful that God allowed that for our family. What else?
I think that's good. You got 3 kids. You used to be a nurse.
Mm-hmm.
You stayed home because you knew you wanted to stay home with them. But I love this next part of your story because I think a lot of women can relate, but a lot just don't want to say it out of guilt or fear of guilt.
Mm-hmm.
But was being a stay-at-home mom enough for you?
Um, yeah. So like I said, my mom, when I grew up, she was a stay-at-home mom. She never worked, when we were growing up. And I loved that. I loved that she
Mm-hmm.
was home from school when I got off the bus, and that she was able to come and do things at school and do, just be there for us. And so I knew when I had kids that that's what I wanted to do. And I can remember, like, so vaguely, and this is like the dumbest thing I ever could have said. My first interview out of college, the guy interviewing me said, "What do you want, or where do you see yourself in 5 years?" And I said, "Well, I see myself staying home and having kids." Not the best interview answer, but that was the truth.
You were honest.
And so when God allowed me to do that, like, I was so thankful, and I enjoyed it, and I still enjoy every minute. Like, it's hard. Like, being a stay-at-home mom is hard. And it can be lonely. But like, after being home full time for probably 6 months or so, I just felt like something was missing, and I felt like I was lacking purpose. And
Mhm.
I sometimes feel guilty even still, like, saying that, because like, being a stay-at-home mom is what I always wanted. And that's what I always said that I wanted. And I still want that. But I just felt like there was something missing. Like, I felt like I'd maybe lost a little bit of myself. I felt like there was just something more that God was wanting me to do. But I knew I didn't want to leave the house. Like, I hated leaving to go to work. I worked night shift, and it never got easier. Like, rushing out the door after dinner for a 12-hour shift was never got easier. I hated it. And so I knew I didn't want to do that. But I just felt God, like, stirring something in me, leading me to do something more, to share, like, my story, to share who I was, to share what God was teaching me. And I didn't know what that looked like. And then in the fall of 2019, he introduced Rachel to me through Instagram. And what she was sharing and what she was doing and what she invited me to has changed everything for me. Coaching was not something I was looking for. I was not in a place, like, physically on my own health journey where I felt like I could lead other women to making better choices for themselves and on their own health and fitness journeys. I was struggling with a lot of anxiety and overwhelm, but I just felt this, like, deep down in my heart that this is what God was leading me to. And so, kind of reluctantly, I asked all the questions and, like, hesitantly said yes, but just decided to give it a try. And I knew I needed it for my own health. Like, I was at a point where I needed to get back in control of my choices and make some big changes for me. And I knew that if I was sharing that, and putting it out there publicly, it would put some skin in the game for myself. But I just fell in love with it. Like, I just went ahead and plugged into the trainings, and I did everything that Rachel asked me to do. And it just, like, it clicked. Like, this is what I was meant to do. And it's been a huge game changer. It's provided purpose. It's provided me something to work and do while I'm home with my kids, and I'm able to be present and work around our schedule. Like, we're in another season of change with kids being out of school now, and, like, trying to figure out our new routine, but it's flexible, and it allows me to do that. And so it's given me a sense of purpose and a sense of, I don't want to say worth, but, like, just something that I can work for and feel accomplished in, and still being that stay-at-home mom that I've always wanted to be.
Yeah, and I love, like, this is one thing I love about Kimberlee is that whenever we plan calls or trainings or whatever, you always say, okay, I can be on until this time, but then I have to go pick up the kids, or then I have to go get Ellis out of like daycare or whatever he does. Like you're very mindful about working your business actually around your family in reality. I know your oldest two are in school. Ellis is home like what, like half days or some
Well,
days?
now he's home full time now. He was in preschool 2 days a week until the beginning of May, so he's
Yeah.
been home for a couple
Yeah.
weeks now.
So, how many hours a day would you say you work on your business at this point?
Um, right now, and it's always hard when people ask me this question because I don't usually do it all at once. It's
Yeah.
usually broken up because I'm working around our kids and pickups and things like that. But probably like, I don't know, maybe 2 to 3 hours a day. But in the summer, I'm still trying, I'm trying to figure out what that's going to look like.
Yeah.
But like during the school year, you know, waking up early before anybody else gets up to do my quiet time and have time with God, to do my workouts, to get a little bit of work in before, I had to wake the kids up from school. And then it was working a little bit while Ellis had his breakfast, and it was working during carpool pickup for, in the afternoon during the school out to get my other two from school. And so it's very much broken up throughout the day and just working in pockets of time. There are times when like the kids go to the grandparents' house, or they're outside with the neighbors in the afternoon after school, and they, we're blessed with really good neighbors and our kids get along really well. And so they'll go out for hours at a time. And so while they're out there, I'll take that time and I will, do what we call a power hour and do an hour of focus work. But a lot of times it's just broken up throughout the day.
Yeah. And at this point, you're not just like a brand new coach. You're like actually a leader, and you have your own team. And Kimberlee is leading an incredible team of women who are doing what she's doing. So yeah, I mean, like 2 to 3 hours a day to build a business that is definitely like blessing your family financially. That's pretty cool. What was so what let me say this first. Why do we have so much guilt about wanting to work? Like, I mean, if you look at people in the Bible, all these women like were hustlers. I mean, not in a bad way, but they worked really hard. I always think about that because I do struggle with that guilt. Like, I love to work.
Well,
I
think it's not only, I don't think it's just that we find or feel guilt in working. I think that's just like our culture and like just people in general. Like, we can feel guilt for everything we do. I think and that's like something I really want to instill in my clients and in my coaches is like to get rid of the comparison, because it doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter if you're a stay-at-home mom. It doesn't matter if you go out and work full time. It doesn't matter if you work from home. Like, there's always going to be somebody telling you like it's not enough, or you feel guilty because your family doesn't look like her family, or your job doesn't look like hers. But it never has to. Like, it's not like God made us each unique and has given us each a unique purpose. And so like, that's part of my vision, is to just create this culture of contentment for women to just be where God's called them to be, and to like live that out fully and firmly rooted in Him, because He's given that to you.
I love that. And Kimberlee's team is called Team Stand Firm. And she just like she does. Kimberlee is very rooted in Christ and wants to be, not saying she's perfect because none of us are, but she wants to be. She wants to be so rooted. And I love that you're teaching women that too. So how has your life changed in the last 2 years because of this opportunity?
Changed a lot. And the first thing that pops in my head after that last comment you made is my faith. Jesus saved me. God saved me when I was 9 years old. I grew up in church. I've known Him all my life, but honestly, my faith has never grown as much or been as strong as it has over these last 2 years. It's crazy to me that God, which I don't know why, because He's God and He can do anything and use anything. But it's crazy to me that He took this area of health and fitness and used it to grow me and change me in the ways that it has. And this is like where He's called me. Like, I've always struggled with nutrition. Like, I have a huge sweet tooth. I always I use pregnancy, and when I was breastfeeding my kids, like I use that as an excuse to eat whatever I want. I never, like, up until we got married, like I never had problems like losing weight. I could just eat whatever I want and I was fine. And so when that changed, you know, I struggled with that and trying to figure out how to balance that. And so it's just funny and it's really cool to see how God can just take like one of your biggest struggles and turn it into like your story and use it for good in the lives of other women. And so it's always humbling and, you know, just takes me by amazement that like he's so good to use every bit of our lives if we're willing to turn it over to him, to let him use that. And so he's grown my faith through it. He's given me a sense of purpose through here, given me something to work for, allowing me to be home with my kids and still provide for our family some. And like my husband's job, he's blessed and we love his job. And so I don't necessarily have to work with his job, but it has allowed us to like pay for some of the extra things. Like we just had our one's 10th birthday and we, you know, we did it kind of big because it was 10, like that's a big one, it's double digits. And so like I was able to pay for a lot of his birthday stuff that didn't have to come out of our monthly budget. Like it's just the little extra things that have blessed our families, like going out to dinner when we want to, or paying for monthly groceries or whatever it might be. And you know, coaching with Beachbody, like you're never guaranteed any source of income, but it's based on your effort. But it does work, and if you put in the time and you put in the effort, it can bless your family financially, and that's something that I'm grateful for. And then something else that has changed for me, I can remember so clearly, like before I started coaching, remember one night I was putting the kids to bed and Eric was upstairs with us, and I just remember like being so emotional and tearful and like just feeling like, just telling him I felt lonely and like I didn't feel like I had friends. And I hated saying that because I have close friends. I have lifelong friends here and they're amazing women and they are always here for me. But I just felt like I was missing that community aspect. And coaching has brought that into my life. Like Rachel and some of the other women on our team that I've only seen once or twice in person, like we talk every single day. And when we do get together in person, which next month we get to see each other again, it's like, I mean, it's like we've been friends all our lives. And so it's just really cool to see how God has brought women from all over the country, all different backgrounds, all different strengths and gifts to come together, to work together and to be friends, and how he's just really blessed that for me. And that's been a really huge thing that coaching has done for me.
Yeah, he is so good. He is so good. Woo! Okay, so you've already kind of shared what your vision is for coaching as far as like helping women just not compare and be rooted in Christ. And then you and what God has called you to do with that. So let's end with this.
Okay.
What advice would you give to someone who is considering becoming a coach with us or starting their own business, you know, from home, in either one of those things? What advice would you give to the woman who maybe is watching this playback and is thinking about doing something like we do?
I would say pray about it. Talk if you're married, or talk to your spouse about it. And then to reach out to, like, if you're watching Rachel or I, or have been following along, or whoever it is, whatever you're thinking about doing, reach out and ask the questions. Learn more, and don't be afraid to ask. Like Rachel and I love what we do, and we love sharing about it with other women, whether they choose to join us or not. Like it's changed us, and so we want to share that. So we're always open and willing to talk to people who want to learn more. But don't let fear hold you back. Like fear is a dream killer, and I have to deal with that all the time still. Like, you know, I've been coaching for almost 2 years now, and it's like every bit of growth, fear comes alongside you to try to hold you back, and you have to you have to just do it, and just do it scared, and you grow through it. And the uncomfortable, the challenge, the fear, like all that kind of stuff is where the growth happens. And like coaching and leading a team and, you know, being on this journey has grown me. You know, I talked about it growing my faith, but it's grown me as a person, and has like doing this 2 years ago, like I would have said no. Like if you asked me that 2 years ago, I'd said no, heck no. Like, and I still get nervous, like, but talking in front of people has always been something I dreaded. But you just do it, and you do it scared, and you grow through it, and you get better. And it just helps you to continue on. And that's just something that I want for myself, is just continual growth. And so a lot of that just comes through doing things that push you outside your comfort zone, doing things that you're not, like, you don't feel ready for. But if you feel like this tug in your gut, or you feel this, like, you can't shake this thought in your head, like, don't ignore it. Like, that's a sign that you need to, go after it, look into it more, ask the questions, ask for information. And then just, if you can't get rid of the feeling, just do it. Like, if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out, but you're never going to know if you don't try.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. I love it. And I think too, like, to piggyback on that, I love that we get to teach our kids this lesson.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you? Like, I mean, I want to inspire other women not to live in fear, and other women to do big, scary things that God's leading them to. But, like, I love that our kids watch us step out in fear every single day. I mean, that's a gift. Honestly, I just, oh gosh, like, and your kids are almost as old as mine, pretty close. And, they're watching what we do. Yeah. They're watching the steps we take, and also the things that we don't do,
Right.
And so I think that that's pretty cool, that legacy we get to leave for our families. Yeah, that's awesome.
I like that too. And I saw a lot of that. We had baseball and soccer for the first time this season. And, Anna played soccer, and she never played soccer before. And I remember the first game, she was like, she hated it. She's like, I don't want to play anymore. And so just like getting to instill that, like, hard work and not giving up and perseverance into her. And then with the boys playing baseball, like, it's just, and that's just sports. It's not like anything that's like life changing, but it's just life, and teaching them to, stick to what they commit to, and to work hard and do their best. That's all I ever ask. Like, it's never about winning, losing, whatever. It's just doing their best at everything they can, or everything they do.
Yeah. You find yourself coaching your kids with personal development like I do. I totally do. Awesome. Okay. Well, thank you, Kimberlee, for giving me 20 minutes of your time. I love you, and I can't wait to see you next month.
Yes.
And it's just going to be fun. All right.
Yes.
Well,
all right.
we'll
Thank
leave it
you.
there, and I'll talk to you later. Okay.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.